Hi, my name is CARIS VUJCEC. I am completely thrilled and very honored to be interviewed by Keith Andrew of the Keith Andrew Network. I am an actor, writer, content creator, director, producer living in New York City. My career has been fortunate to have spanned Broadway to episodic television and film. I also teach and I coach, and I currently have a few projects in the works, one of which is entitled Pepper Ricochet, to follow up to the Pepper Project, a female spy thriller. Thanks again, Keith. I look forward to talking to you.
Episode 680. That's right.
Whoa, what a number.
I'm here as Ms. Caris, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you so much, Keith, for having me. It's a real honor, and I'm very excited. Thank you.
No, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show's about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, and never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them and get them out to something. So hashtag break the labels. That being said, it's got to be a half hour every time. You know, I'm trying to work with knocking the time down, so it is a half hour, but you have as much time as you like. Freedom of speech, PG-13, freedom of speech, self-expression. And a couple of questions I did see that subjects that you do work on is you are a producer and a writer, and on top of that you're an actor. But the ones that really caught my interest were you are a professional producer and a professional writer, and there were a couple ideas I do want to talk to you about both.
Sure. Well, first I want to say, Keith, thank you for having me on your great show. I admire what you do, and I think you set an amazing example. The mission of your show and what you've been doing now for 680 shows is fantastic. It's just incredible, and I'm really, as I said, I'm really honored to be here, so thank you.
No, the honor's all mine. So the first question, I'm going to ask you some easy ones, and then we can go to the hard-hitting ones.
Oh boy, okay.
So the first one I want to ask you is, who influenced you to become a professional actor?
I would say from a young age, I think I had many influences like many people do. I always enjoyed being in school plays, and I certainly loved the movies. My family was supportive of music, and we all played instruments, so there was a great deal of artistic endeavor and expression in our household, which was great. I have a brother and a sister, and we all grew up playing instruments. I was the one that started acting. I had some great high school teachers, and then on to graduate school. So I'd say Tom Minardi and Nancy Dutel and Bill Mercer. Those are some of my early influences because they encouraged us in the high school that I went to, Liverpool High School. Shout out to LHS here. We had a great music and theater program. So that was an early encouragement and influence for me to pursue this, although my undergraduate degree is in communications from Syracuse University, Newhouse School. So I came later to studying more professionally when I went back to get my master's at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And then I had great instructors there, many great, Barbara Schofield, Louis Coliani, Dale Rose, a number of teachers there that were very influential. If you're looking for maybe other names like celebrity, not so much celebrity, but people that, I have an answer. I have a better answer. Can I add to my answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was a junior in high school, I was in a gifted English class. For better or worse, I didn't feel like I don't know if I really belonged to the class or not, but it was a very small class of people. And it was taught by Dr. Philip Bidwell. And we watched, he would bring in tapes at that time of the Royal Shakespeare Company and their performances. And there was a performance from Judi Dench You probably know who she is. She's an actress, a British actress. She's in the Bond film, so she plays M in the current films that have been out the past several years with Daniel Craig. And she did a scene from Twelfth Night playing Viola. And I watched that among other tapes that we watched from the RSC. And I said to myself, I really would love to know how to do that. Specifically meaning perform Shakespeare and learn that heightened language, as it's called, but make it look so natural and perform. So that's a better answer for you. But all those other people deserve credit too.
No, absolutely. Now, what were some of your favorite films that you were ever a part of?
Oh, well, I've actually been in more television work currently. We're always hoping for more. Certainly after this crisis clears up with being able to get back to producing things on a large scale. I was in the film P.S. I Love You that Richard LaGravenese wrote and directed. That starred Hilary Swank. I had a small role in that. That was very fun. Otherwise, though, I've done a lot of television, and I've, of course, very much enjoyed being a recurring character on the Law & Order television series. I've been the character of Detective Campesi on both Criminal Intent and Special Victims Unit for a number of years now, 12 years or so. And then I've also appeared on the regular Law & Order television series too, in two different characters, not the detective. I've played lawyers and district attorneys and doctors, and I was in a pilot that Alfonso Cuarón directed. I played a doctor. There's a lot of things as an actor in New York that you, hopefully, if you're fortunate, and I am grateful, to be able to do what they call episodic television and those things.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, have you ever worked, apparently you're working with me, so obviously you are. Have you ever worked with people with disabilities, and are you willing to work with people with disabilities?
I have, to my recollection, I've never worked with people in disabilities on stage. On set, I would have to think about crew and larger personnel of production, but I don't think so. And the answer to the second part of the question is yes, I, of course, am interested and absolutely willing to work with people who have disabilities.
Well, it pleases me to be the first.
Yay! It's a good. You framed your question very well, Keith. You set me up good.
Now, the next one I was going to ask you is, have you taken acting classes, and would you recommend taking acting classes?
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you're younger, you learn from the plays and things that you're in school or community theater, things like that. But I, at Syracuse University, had some I minored in theater and acting, so I had some more broad-based classes there. But when I went to get my master's in acting and directing, it was a very focused, classically trained basis of a program. It was a 3-year master's program. So I do highly recommend that. I think there's a lot to learn about the craft. I don't think your education stops with your formal schooling education. I think it continues, and there's many places here in New York and in LA, no matter where people are, where you can continue taking classes in privately or with workshops, different studios around town. There's many other places. It is important to keep your craft going and keep up on that.
No, absolutely. Now, the next, it's kind of like having a knife. You just have to keep sharpening it, so once you get an opportunity, you're right on point. You're not like, if you have something and you leave it alone, it becomes dull and you have to rework at it. But if you're constantly sharpening your skills, you'd be right on point.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right, because like any skill, say you were a juggler, say you were a baseball player, anything that has a skill or that we consider acting a craft that has technique and things to be explored on a constant basis, it's kind of a muscle that needs to be exercised and used. So you make an excellent point there.
No, absolutely. Now,
No pun intended with the knife, with the point.
no. Now, the other question I'll ask you, then we can go to the other subjects, is what was the very first thing that you did? I know I asked you who influenced you, but what was the very first thing that you either saw, walked into, said, this is what I want to do? Because if people want to follow in your footsteps, let's just give them a step-by-step plan. That's what we call it, a step-by-step plan. How did you become an actor? What steps did you take?
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, I discussed the Judi Dench in that class, and how theater was important to me in high school. The step after that, I did, as I said, I was studying, I went on to Syracuse University where I got a degree in public relations from the Newhouse School, but I was also taking some theater classes and acting and doing things in the community at that time as well. Then I left school and was active in my career in public relations, but always taking, in DC at the time, dance classes and acting classes and involved in community theater, where I met a lot of wonderful people that I'm still close with, and we've also continued to keep in touch, and our artists spread out all over the country. So that's quite wonderful, actually. When I was doing that work in community theater and taking dance classes and studying at the Shakespeare Theater, at the time it was called the Shakespeare Theater at the Folger in DC. I had a great teacher, Floyd King. I really started to fall in love with the craft more. As I said, it was Shakespeare, so that was something I was so interested in. And I thought, I think that I want to pursue this in a more professional way. So I decided to apply to and be, considering a higher degree. And that's exactly what I did. So I applied to graduate schools around the country and auditioned for them and went through a whole process of what that was. And I was lucky to be accepted to several that I had a choice of where I wanted to study. And I chose, as I mentioned, the program in Kansas City.
Now, what would be the steps for someone who wants to get an agent, work for an agency? What were your steps?
In terms of getting an agent, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, so that's an interesting thing. It's different for different people. A lot of times the school, if you're going to a institution that you're getting a degree, in the spring of your final semester, the school will have what's called a showcase, and that would either be in New York or LA or Chicago or whatever major city kind of the school is affiliated or close to, or sometimes they do a bi-coastal thing. If you're going to New York, sometimes they also have a showcase in Los Angeles or elsewhere, where the school class presents their work, and a bunch of agents and casting directors come and watch, and then if they're interested in meeting with you further and potentially representing you, then that's the process that happens there. It's not the only way to do it. I got my start a little bit after the showcase in terms of networking and meeting different people and being cast in shows here in town off-Broadway and off-Broadway, and then having an agent and casting directors come to see the work, and then they also become interested in you because they're watching you in a live performance. So there's a few different ways to do it. You can also, I had mentioned those online classes and things that you can take to advance your craft and keep studying. You can meet agents and casting directors that way as well. So there's a few different avenues potentially in how to pursue that.
All right. Now, with everything that you've seen of me, do you think I would benefit from having someone representing me, or do you think I should just do it myself?
As you're in terms of an acting career?
Oh, acting and getting more
host work?
Yes.
I think that, you have, I'm not sure how the host work happens, but you certainly have interviewed enough people, and you've had your own network now for 7 years going.
Yes.
I don't see why you should not start putting out your feelers and see who might be interested in in expanding your show or seeing where else that you can be a host. You have a proven track record of being able to do this, and you do it well, and I mean that. As far as you furthering the cause for disabled people, I say you have every opportunity and capability, I should say, to lead the charge.
Well,
Go, Keith!
If you're interested in working together, I would really appreciate that.
If I have a role that I'm writing in one of my shows, I will certainly keep you in mind. I promise you.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. That's our next subject, but we're gonna take a quick commercial break. And
Okay.
When we come back, I'm gonna ask you about your writing and producing.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ready again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with Miss CARIS. Now, with the last couple minutes, I'm going to ask you about your writing and producing and a little bit of social media. Then I'm going to pass the show over to you. So the very first thing I want to ask you is, what do you prefer, writing or producing?
Oh, I have to say, I don't think I can answer an either-or question with that, Keith. I very much enjoy both. As an actor, what's been really great is to be able to start my own project, which I have a few, and the one that I'm currently producing is the Pepper Project. I also am finishing the pilot to another series called Cenote, which is a Mexican terror thriller. With the Pepper Project, we shot a pilot a few years ago that toured the festival circuit and made many rounds, has been successful. We picked up another, totally crowdsourced and crowdfunded, and picked up another campaign to move on to another few episodes called Pepper Ricochet. I really do enjoy the producing of that as well, kind of pulling all the details together, getting everyone together to do their individual jobs and coordinating all of it. It's a massive undertaking, but I love it, and of course I have an incredible team that does all the other jobs that are necessary in production. So I love them both. I do. I enjoy writing. I enjoy producing. I directed these last two episodes I did by myself, so that's also interesting and challenging and something that I hope and look forward to doing more.
No, absolutely. What were some of your favorite writing skits that you ever did, and what were some of your favorite skits you ever produced?
Well, I don't know about skits. In terms of the series, you mean?
Like skits or videos, you know.
Sure. So, well, I would have to say that the full series of what I've been doing is something that I'm, very much enjoy. It is the Pepper Project is a female spy thriller. She is a woman who is an imperfect mess, I would say, but is very strong, has a lot of positive qualities. But what I wanted to present with the character is that imperfection, because a lot of times where women are not allowed to be seen in that way and be accepted, and you have to, uphold some sort of standard of whether it be beauty or moral code, and I'm not talking about doing immoral things, but I'm saying, just choices of life and things that women are expected to do, follow a certain path, and this is a character that definitely veers off of that. As a former spy, she's put in precarious positions to try to find the whereabouts of her sister, who she believes is missing and not dead, as other people would lead her to believe. So this is kind of a journey, and she has two cohorts, Archie and Bobby, that travel along with her, although they do not really fully know the whole extent of her spy dealings and everything that she's been involved in. So there's a lot of other characters in the series as well. I would say that some of those scenes around all of that and the premise and the plot have been my favorite. I also love working on this current one that I'm doing, set in Mexico, based on a personal experience I had over a decade ago there. I don't want to reveal too much about that, so I'll leave it there. But I'm looking forward to some co-production opportunities with that as well as with the Pepper Project. So producers out there, networks, whoever, give me a holla.
Now, would you ever be interested in where, for an example, writing or producing something about me?
Yes. In what way?
That's completely up to you. It could be a short film. It could be a short TV series. It could be a documentary. Any ideas? You are the producer and writer.
We would have to see what type of story that you'd want to tell. So if you wanted to talk about your disabilities, your success as a host, I think that would be a good hook. The important thing with the story is to figure out, especially since it would be, you're saying something autobiographical.
Well, it could be anything.
I have to think about it.
Now, have you ever read in a book, and would you ever want to write a book?
Oh wow! I think that people who write books and novels are genius. So I don't know if I have that. I can't claim that talent. I'd be hard pressed to say that. I never have imagined that I would write a book. I also think that you have to be of the mind that someone wants to read your book. Like if it's a book about yourself, I just don't know if people would be that interested. I don't have that large of a ego, I guess, but not that you have to an ego to write your own memoir or something. But people say to me, I'm writing a memoir. I think, oh, okay, well, I hope someone reads it. So if it wants to mean, if you're not, if you're not a notable person, in terms of it's such a longer form. I don't know if I would ever write a book. Have you? Are you interested in writing a book?
I thought about it, and people have told me, but I don't feel like I accomplished a lot to write a book.
Well, you haven't? Or then maybe this is what the documentary that we do should be about, is what you've accomplished in 680 shows?
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. So,
Never say never.
That's right.
Now, the last question I'll pass it over to you is social media. Does social media make you or break you? With everything that you accomplish and still working on, how do you feel about social media?
Well, I feel like it absolutely has assisted with recognition of my show, certainly helping with the funding of the show. There's no question about that. I couldn't have done it without certain social media platforms, as well as direct requests through emails and a lot of personal outreach and personal network contact. So in that way, I think it makes me, if you're asking that question. The hard thing for me with social media is that I'm not 20 and I'm not yet an influencer. So to grab the attention of a large audience of a broad range of ages is a mystery to me. And if someone is watching this and they can help me, I'd love to know how to do it, or even you might know how to do it. It's like now I've started a TikTok thing. Okay, so everyone's doing TikTok, so I thought let's upon the advice of some really great professionals, they said, why don't you try to get a TikTok following? And I just don't understand how other people have 1 million followers. How do they amass that amount of people? And what are they doing? I can so everyone go to my TikTok is @whoispepper. Please follow me. Shout out. And my other social media, I'm sure that Who is Pepper on Instagram, aka CARIS on Instagram, and myself on Facebook, and Twitter is @00vu. And Who is Pepper also. So please, everyone watching, feel free, and I greatly appreciate your support. I think with social media, it's important to keep the posts engaging and keep your whoever's following you for an audience purpose, keep them very interested in what you're doing. And then, of course, some of the benefits of social media, if you're have a lot of friends, it's certainly a great way to keep in touch with people, as you do the same thing. I would just love to know how to utilize each platform more to gain more following for, not me personally, but for my series and my work as an actor and director and producer. Got any ideas, Keith? Anything?
I was going to ask you.
I'm not the source. You got to get like an 18-year-old who does some, puts on a hula hoop and goes in Times Square and gets a million hits off of that. I don't know. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should meet in Times Square with hula hoops and do a TikTok video.
Hey, or come to Woodbury Commons so we can definitely do something.
Is that where you are? Upstate?
I'm near like West Point.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That's just up the Hudson. It's a nice area.
Where in the city are you based?
I'm in Midtown. I'm in the theater district, actually. So
Right, so that should be like an hour and a half.
we will have to see what we can figure out. I think Times Square is a better location to shoot this. I really do.
Hey, never say never. And the next question I was going to ask you while we're actually wrapping up, how
Sure.
can people follow you on social media? And when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your honest first reaction? What made you say yes? And how do you feel now? And would you recommend it?
I'll reiterate my social media tags, and I'm assuming that you're going to put them in the YouTube tagline in the description there. So, God, if I could, for Instagram, I have two, aka CARIS and @WhoIsPepper, all one word. TikTok, Who is Pepper. My Facebook is my name, although it's more private, but I also have a Who is Pepper Facebook page. And LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn as well. And we have the Pepper Project, Pepper Ricochet YouTube channel. Would love people to go and watch. We have trailers. I've got videos from many festivals I've been around the country. A lot of fun videos of behind the scenes things that happen on set. So I think that's a lot of fun for people to watch. So that is on YouTube. The question was what was my first impression? I thought your email, I was interested because I received your email and you right away stated what you were looking to do and who you were. You stated, I'm a person with disabilities and I am looking to demonstrate that people with disabilities can succeed. And that right there, I was very interested. So that was appealing to me as someone now, like you said, now we've worked together in this interview, and the experience has been terrific, Keith, and I thank you very much. Again, it's been an honor.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Now I do have a couple questions for you off the air. While wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege. Now I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.